everybody. This is John Murphy at Murtech.com with your daily news update. Okay, here we are on March the 24th in the year of our Lord 2026. Let's jump over here to Murtech on Rumble because I've got a lot of good information for you. All right, this is my live stream tonight, episode 1866. Let's jump in here and see what we got going. Let me pause that. Close out the live chat, slide down here and click the show more button to expand out the description box. Okay, we have information from Dan Bongino, Doug in Exile, Glenn Beck, and Wendy Bell Radio. A lot of good stuff here, but let me give some shout outs here to CG6777, just started following my channel. Vic Robinson just started following my channel. Ganol 54 just started following my channel. Tom Shitty just started following my channel. Alrighty. Chromo Man 78 just started following my channel. Kit Kat Mar just started following my channel. Cassie 76 just started following my channel. Floyd Double just started following my channel. Rockin' Robin 60 just started following my channel. And Kitty Hooper just started following my channel. So thank you very much, folks, for following my channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you're tuned in, and I hope you enjoy the content. Alrighty. Also, WBS reposted my episode 1865 from last night. WBS gave me a comment on my episode 1865. WBS also commented on my extra 649A. Turn 1967. And Debbie BS commented on my extra 649B. So thank you very much, folks, for reposting my video and your comments. I enjoy reading your feedback, and I certainly appreciate your support. So let me give this a thumbs up. There we go. Perfect. And I have a thumbs up icon right here below the video you're watching. If you could click on that, that would be fantastic too. Okay, Dan Bongino. They want to burn it all down, episode 2479. Let's see what he has to say about that.
Let's get this thing started. A reminder, walk, juggle chainsaws. Got to do it. Why? It is really important we defeat the other side. The other side wants open borders, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen what happens, the 4-year pillage and plunder under Biden. They want to take your money. They want to take your freedom. They want to throw Donald Trump in jail. It's not like they don't talk about it all the time. So it's our job, in addition to cleaning out our own movement, it is our job to continue to fight the left. And one of the things we have to do to win, one of the strategies we have to do to win that Donald Trump is better at than anyone else is creating contrasts. He has been better at attracting people to a movement that would have repulsed them years in the past. They believe the media hype about the Republican Party and the conservative movement, all this other bullshit. Donald Trump's broken through that. He has created a contrast. He's created a foil effect. This choice or that choice, but here's the difference. He has made the party attractive again to a group of people who couldn't give a damn about the Republican Party 20 or 30 years ago. Black voters, Hispanic voters, Jewish voters, minority voters, Asian voters, who now see what the Democrat Party really is. Why? Because Donald Trump has told you who they really is, because of who they really are, and because of his big megaphone and his presence on the Republican stage, you have to listen. He dominates the news cycle. But I'm going to help you out here, too. I'm going to give you just a quickie reminder in the beginning of the show before I get to some other stuff that happened last night. With Mark Levin had an interview with Kent and some other things that surfaced last night, including a leak story and turning point. I want to make sure we focus first on what matters most, which is defeating the left. Here is an example of the Democrats, again, saying the quiet part out loud, unabashedly. Here's Senator Chris Murphy on MSNBC, now MSNOW. Here he is saying the quiet part out loud, but who they really care about are the illegal immigrants. Not my words, his words. Check this out.
The negotiation didn't have a path to citizenship. It was entirely on their terms in order to get Ukraine funding, right?
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So You are right that that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. and it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
Hat tip to Speak for sending that over. Saw that early in the morning. Chad loves that one. Walk, what is it? Woody, CCO, walk, chew gum, juggle chainsaws, head on a swivel, American flag. You're damn right, brother. When they tell you who they are, man, just listen to them. If you believe the real priority for the United States government should be illegal immigrants into the country, then vote for Chris Murphy. No, I'm serious. He's your guy. He just said it. That's a real priority, the illegal migrants. Folks, it's not a slip. Do you understand that? The old Freudian slip. That's not a slip. That's exactly what he means. That's exactly what he means. Here, you want more of this too? I'm sorry to hit you with all this hilarity, and it's tragically hilarious. This is the other side. Okay, contrast, correct? Do you believe American citizens come first? Yes, I do. Oh, so you don't believe illegal migrants should be the priority of lawmakers? No, I don't. Okay, so we're your side. That's it. It's simple as that. Or you could be on Team Chris Murphy. Here's another one. I saw this video pop up yesterday. This is a CSU professor. This is the Democrats who don't believe they know what a woman is, yet they want to legislate about women's rights, but they don't know what a woman is. Here's this professor screaming about how she's got girlfriends with special equipment. I'll just let her explain. You want to vote for this? This is for you. Vote Democrat. Check this out.
And the idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women, and that's what I have to use my time to do, is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia, because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
Okay. I will, who's just said in the chat they're eating breakfast right now? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. You guys be the judge. The woman's not running for office. I'm just telling you, like, that is the pervasive ideology on the left. How many genders are there? I don't know, like 72 or something like that. Really? Is there some kind of like DNA 5-3 prime codon coding thing we messed up or something like that? Science missing. We got AI. Can they figure that out? Here's another gem from last night or yesterday. This is Senate oligarch Chuck Schumer, a goofball liberal from New York. He's asked a simple question. Ladies and gentlemen, show some principle. Here, let me show you how this is done. And some people may not like this, but that's okay. Because you know what? Principles matter to me, not bullshit. That's why I keep fighting against these grifters and doomers and bums who change their mind every freaking 5 minutes because they want to attack Donald Trump and get power. I don't like that. Someone asked me once, did Obama ever do anything you agreed with? You know what? They asked me, and on the spot, I couldn't say yes because I couldn't think of anything because it took me a while. But I thought to myself when I went home, if I told this story and you've heard it before, forgive me, but it's important. I don't know what it was, a radio hit or whatever. I was driving back and I thought, that's an important question that if it comes up later, you should have an answer and you should think about it responsibly. And it took me a while because Obama was seriously worse than Biden. He's the worst president in modern U.S. history for the destruction of the fabric of the republic, period. But he did give a speech once about Vietnam veterans. And I lost my uncle in Vietnam. I never met him, but you met Greg Ambrose, and it just destroyed my whole family. I can just tell you that I never met him. But you weren't allowed to bring up his name, ever. My grandmother would just, the whole thing was just horrible. So I obviously have a soft spot for our veterans in general, but especially people who served in Vietnam because they came back to, in many cases, and obviously not all, but a radicalized country of people who painted them as the enemy. And it was a damn shame. So all you Vietnam veterans out there in the chat and listening to the show and anywhere, I want you to know that I love you, man. And I mean that. I can't even imagine what you've been through. All these loser hippies attacking you when you came back. Well, getting back to the point. Obama gave a speech once about that, and he said, listen, I think Vietnam veterans, the gist of it, where you were treated terribly and you didn't deserve that. Okay, I agreed with that. People may say, I can't believe it. You agree with Obama? No, because that's principles that matter to me, is respecting our veterans. And if a Democrat or Republican says it, I don't care. It's true. My point in this next clip is Chuck Schumer, who has spoken out hundreds of times publicly on the record and knows it because it's recorded, about the danger of Iranian military facilities to the United States and the region. The death to America, Iranian mullah theocracy. He's on video saying how dangerous and destructive the Iranians can be. We've got to be careful. He's on video talking about it. Here he's asked a simple question. Is it Chuck Scarborough or Joe Scarborough, whoever it is? He's Chuck Scarborough. I'm bringing back my New York days. He's asked a simple question about military facilities in Iran. Is it good we took them out or not? Pretty simple answer. You think? Check this out.
Is it a good thing that Iran, and I think you would agree with me, epicenter of terrorism in the world since 1979, is it good that their military infrastructure is being degraded to the degree that it is? Yes or no?
It's you can't, because it's a premature question. What is going to happen in the next several months?
No, I can ask that question.
Well, you can't separate.
No. I can't. So you have a military side of it. I can show you my chart, but I think I threw it away. You have the military side, you have the political side. I'm simply asking on the military side, is it good, regardless of whether we agree with going in or not, is it good that Iran's military infrastructure has been seriously
degraded? And again, I have to tell you, Joe, first, you can't, what's going to happen 3 months from now? Is it worth it? What's going to happen? Will the world economy collapse? Will something happen even worse? Will the whole energy infrastructure of the world go up in smoke? So you have to, when they do it without planning, when they do it without understanding where they're going,
Senator,
where they're going,
but
I don't think it's fair.
It's a trick question.
No, it's not.
It is.
Let me answer the question for everybody in America. The answer, yes. It's good that the terrorist regime, their military has been, and capabilities have been degraded radically.
Holy Moses, man, he's got to be freaking rescued by Chuck Scarborough. Joe, I know. Joe Scarborough's going to be, hey, Chuck, it's a good thing. You can say you don't like Donald Trump. You don't like his haircut. You think his foreign policy is shit. You can say that. It's MSNOW. They'll love you, bro. The palm fronds will come out. The ladies will come out with the Aquanet hairspray, fixing up your hair, putting up all your stuff. They'll give you maybe some back rubs if you're into that kind of thing, you weirdo. They'll love you. You can say, yeah, it's a good thing. You know, Iranian military facilities were presenting a regional, not just parochial, but regional danger, probably extraterritorial too, if they built ballistic missiles that could hit the United States. That's a great thing. However, I think Donald Trump is erratic, or throw some whatever word in there you don't like. You think he's crazy. You don't like his hair. How bad is it when you got to be rescued by Chuck Scarborough? Because they don't have any principles. Contrast. You want to vote for these? You got a midterm coming up. I wish there wasn't this distraction internally with all these subversive outside agents coming in here to cry and crap all over our movement. I wish that weren't a thing. You think I don't know who the real enemy is? I've been in this business 10 plus years. You want this guy in office? Here, showing you again, these guys have zero principles at all. Nothing they say is authentic or true. We're going to shut down the government over ICE funding. ICE is already funded, you jerkwads, through 2029. Did you not know that? You shut down the government to screw the American people, just like you shut down the Obamacare last time, like I said last night on Hannity. Because you told us Obamacare was going to save money, when it costed more money than you anticipated, like a lot more. You needed more taxpayer money to pay for the inflated prices from insurance companies due to Obamacare. You effed us double barrel again. And now you don't like ICE, even though they're already funded. So you're making people wait 5 to 6 hours in a freaking airport line because you dipshits can't do a cranial rectotomy and pull your heads out of your asses? Why would you vote for these idiots? I'm not telling you again that the GOP is flawless and has not been a part of a lot of these problems. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that at all. The whole creation of TSA was a bipartisan endeavor. That whole disaster. I'm just telling you the cause of all your problems now are these freaking loser Democrats. You're sitting on an airport line with 3 kids crying for 4 hours at 5 o'clock in the morning for a noon flight. Blame them. Blame them. They've done this to you over and over and over again. You want more of this? This is their guy running for president, by the way, in 2028, Gavin Newsom. This is a guy, you want to see a total, complete lack of principles? Check this out.
I've written a hell of a book, and I don't say that lightly. I went through it in a quick hour and a half, almost 2 hours. It reads at an unbelievable pace. I'm not a particularly slow reader. I can't read. Really? Can't read. I can't write. Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
I tip the great Maze Moore. Folks, is this segment not helpful to you? We're voting, but listen, you're not voting. I get it. Nobody's voting for people with like integrity and dignity anymore. Very few of these people even go to DC. Really, the collective character of a lot, not all of these people is so low. I say, you're not trying to date these guys. You're trying to elect them. All I care about is a basic sense of honesty. Everybody tells these white lies on the political campaign trail. I'm the toughest, baddest, whatever. We get it. We get it. It's your subjective analysis, or you are. At least don't bullshit me straight to my face and pretend we don't know. Iran is a huge threat. Their military facilities. Is Iran a threat? Their military facilities is a good idea. We got rid of them. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can't figure that out. Only been in office I don't know. Chuck Schumer, Gavin Newsom. I don't know, man. I can't read. Oh, I can read. I thought you just said you couldn't read. Oh, I really hate liars. What? Is this dude debating himself? Folks, we have a choice. We have a choice coming up. Now, hold on. That's some blackout. That's a cold brew. When the Democrats tell you what they're going to do and they tell you the game plan, imagine if you knew like the first 10 plays. You're in a football game. A lot of you watch football. Obviously, you know what football is. I'm not talking about global football. I'm talking American football. Throw, kick, punt, pass, If the football team on the other side were to accidentally leak to you or have a spy give you the first 10 plays of the game, you would probably prepare your defense differently, correct? I'm not a football coach. I know a little bit about the game. If you knew the first 10 plays were going to be run plays and they weren't going to change them, you would probably disguise your coverage, but you would probably move up the safety linebacker in there, beef up your offensive line. That's how you stop the run. I'm not a professional coach. I'm just guessing, man. If you knew the first 10 plays. So when the Democrats tell you the first 20 plays, like Ruben Gallego in that semaphore piece, the senator from Arizona, Democrat nut job that we put on a couple of weeks ago, telling corporations, hey man, we get back in charge. We're coming for you, basically. Like, you better keep your book coming for. What'd they do? Here's General Wesley Clark, another Democrat. Here's Clark telling in a media piece, by the way, you can't stand Donald Trump, that people will say what Donald Trump is doing in Iran right now, people will say it's a war crime. That is, oh my gosh, Justin, isn't that crazy? Wesley, war, you don't think they would never war crime. The Democrats would never do something like that. I mean, he's the commander in chief. We've got a wannabe nuclear power with 440 kilos of 60% enriched uranium chanting death to America, telling you on video they want to build a bomb. Justin, clearly bombing them is definitely a war crime, correct? Yeah, no, never before. He's never been a target for a ridiculous, made-up, fabricated criminal and civil. Oh, Justin's telling me he has. I missed that whole thing. Breaking twice at Hobbs. Yeah, twice.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. And yes, some of the points that he made are absolutely spot on, folks. Let me click on this Rumble link and show you that this video comes from the Dan Bongino show. I'm following his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. I'm going to go ahead and include this in my daily news wrap-up so you'll get to see the rest of it. But in the meantime, let's jump back here. And we got Debbie BS, Susie B63, Foxy Grandma, and Susie Poll 26. I'll chat back with you here in just a moment, but in the meantime, let's see what Doug in Exile has to say. Trump just called their bluff. Okay, well, let's see what that's all about.
Trump absolutely calls Iran's bluff, giving them just 5 days. He goes, you've got 5 days to negotiate this ceasefire.
I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes against major energy and electricity targets in Iran. They have very, very big, new, actually, and very expensive, billions of dollars it costs to build them. One missile, one of our powerful ones, and it comes down to the ground like it was made out of dust. But to determine whether a broader agreement can be reached, we've had very good discussions, very, very good discussions. And you have to understand, I know my whole life has been a negotiation, but with Iran, we've been negotiating for a long time. And this time they mean business. And it's only because of the great job that our military did is the reason they mean business. They want to settle, and we're going to get it done, I hope.
Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm going to give you all the details on this. This is the biggest news in the Iran war that happened over the weekend. Part of why I'm happy is I think we're in good hands with Trump, and I think his negotiation is very good. This is all of the details on that. Of course, he has this wacko left-wing media that are just trying to dog the administration, and they're hoping we fail in Iran. Watch Trump.
What exactly are you looking for in these talks, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it. Low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that, and I think we're going to get that. We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You want the enriched uranium before you can end this.
And we want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium. If this happens, it's a great start for Iran to build itself back, and it's everything that we want. And it's also great for Israel, and it's great for the other Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, all of them, Kuwait, and Bahrain in particular. So it's great for all of them.
Now, here's where he's calling their bluff. I don't think they're going to go for it because they're suicidal occultic lunatics. But, you know, he has said he would only take an unconditional surrender. So as this is coming in and saying, look, we just want to deal with the uranium and da-da-da, and you would stay in power. There's a question about that coming up. I'll give you the strategy on that too. He might be negotiating with someone else besides the Iranian regime, the IRGC. He might be dealing with the good guys, the freedom forces in Iran, and negotiating with them. That's the rumor. This is, I haven't heard from my buddy Ian Miles Chung for a while. He says Iran gets hammered. A munitions depot in southern Iran just went boom. And this is for their stockpile of ballistic missiles. I'm just going to watch this for a little fireworks show here. This is pretty brutal. That's the initial fire, and then watch this explosion come out. There you go. Oh, yeah. So we're still going to be hitting them and softening them up even through these talks, or Israel will. These are the people actually doing the negotiations. That guy on the left there is Jared Kushner. That's Trump's daughter. Ivanka Trump is married to him, and they have children, and he's the one who is buddies with Trump, and the guy is Witkoff. So U.S. President Donald Trump tells Fox Business that Iran wants to make a deal badly. This is going to did it positively affect the stock market today? And that an agreement could be reached within 5 days or sooner. That's the 5-day deadline, stating that talks occurred Sunday night, that's last night, involving special envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, with the help of, now this is important to me, Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey. So you always bring in the guys for support, and it may have taken place with some of their advocates. Also, here's Maria Bartiromo with more detail.
Welcome back. I just spoke with President Trump, and he told me that Iran wants to make a deal badly. Said that the talks have been ongoing. I said, how much longer will this conflict go on? He said the talks, I said 5 days to halt or postpone strikes on the electrical infrastructure. It could happen sooner, he said, but I have put down 5 days. I asked him what his reaction is to Iranian state television saying that there are no talks, and he said he's not sure what they are referring to because the most recent talks happened, in fact, last night with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and their counterparts. When I asked about the Iranian TV saying that no talks have happened, he said it's hard to get any information there because of the U.S. is blowing up so much of their infrastructure. So again, he wasn't sure what Iran state TV was talking about because the most recent talks, he said, happened last night with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Again, the president just told me moments ago that the Iranians want to do a deal badly. The market, of course, has reversed course this morning after the president posted this morning in the middle of a big decline in markets. He said that he has directed the military to postpone strikes on the electrical infrastructure and the power plants for 5 days as these talks continue.
That's just on the power plants. We're still blowing up all their munitions. So the good part still goes. More detail. This is a reporter tried to get Trump to give away the whole strategy because they're hoping probably it gets leaked back to the IRGC so they can use it against us.
From California, given that it'll take them weeks to arrive, if the intention to police the strait or take part.
What are you talking about?
Well,
this is about the Marines that have left California already. We're getting ready to do boots on the ground. Whether if it happens or not, you have to be ready for it. So we've put some boots over there.
it's been reported that there are Marines that left California, left San Diego last week, at the end of the week. Why are they headed there now?
Well, let me ask you this. If you were in my position, and I asked you that question, you would believe me to give you that two question. Talk about strategy. Yeah.
We don't talk about strategy. That's a crazy question. True. Part of Trump's strategy, I think, is just to keep bamboozling his opponents. He'll give opposite answers on everything. And I think it's good. It keeps them guessing. You never want to tell them what you're going to do with your boots. That's how you protect your boots on the ground. And of course, the TV person there. I just want to read this chyron down there. It says, now Trump takes questions before trip to Memphis. He's going out to Memphis, my state, Tennessee, to see how our FBI, ICE agents, and ground policing is dropping crime rates in Memphis right now with record success. And I have a friend at church. His son is a state trooper. He used to be a Marine, and he is being shipped out from here. He drives and commutes out to Memphis on the weekends to help clean up the hellhole that is the Memphis crime scene because Democrats won't prosecute criminals. That was just a personal story that I go, oh, I dig it. They're cleaning up Memphis. Good. And you'll hear more from that on this show if you guys have subscribed. Take a look at this. Here's Dr. Murad Ashabi. Trump shift in tone from regime, country of Iran. So what people are saying now is that he could be directly negotiating with that Reza Pahlavi, that we could be trying to install him as an interim leader. And just in this quote from Trump, this is the original announcement. I'm pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran, that's the first time he's called them a country, not the regime, not, this terrible fascistic, hellhole Iran. First time Trump has called them the country of Iran, have had over the last 2 days very good and production. So the conversation's already happening. It's going to continue through this week, he says. They have 5 days. If they don't give him what he wants, that enriched uranium that he said in the first clip, we're going to take out their electrical power. And no one wants that, including that new free Shah who could end up being the leader. You don't want to take out their electricity and then have to rebuild all that infrastructure. So it would be too much. Here's Trump on the final quote.
Who's Steve Witkoff speaking with, Mr. President?
Who's Witkoff speaking with?
A top person. Don't forget, we've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Which one's the leader in Iran? That's the question here. Very interesting the way he puts this, and now he's going to give away everything. Is it the Shah, the good guy that we want to place in there? Or is it the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, the evil IRGC? They're going to ask that deliberately here.
No, not the supreme leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second supreme leader.
Is it the supreme leader? No. They're not negotiating with the supreme leader. So we don't know who they're negotiating with. Kushner and Witkoff are. Could be the Shah that we intend to replace or some new freedom movement there. Or it could be the wicked leftovers of the IRGC if they can find anyone, because their lives never last that long as soon as they find them. I'm Doug in Exile.
All right, there you have it, folks. And let me show you if this video does come from Doug in Exile. I'm following his channel. I subscribe to his channel on YouTube and giving him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, let's jump back here and got some more chats. Baker 468 just joined us. Okay, let's go down here and see what Glenn Beck has to say. TSA chaos at airports makes Glenn ask why this is the goal. Okay. Well, let's check it out.
Now,
Glenn has to say.
We have, because they were fighting ICE, somehow or another, TSA is involved in that, and they're not involved in that. The money for ICE has already been approved. And so what they decided to do is hold the money back from DHS. Well, DHS is what's protecting us. You have all these people inside that you don't know who they are. So now we're not able to watch domestically any terrorists that we might have here. But also, because you're not funding things like TSA, you now have what at the airport? It's not just long lines, it's chaos. Some airports that are run privately, they don't have a line. If you're not run privately, you have a giant line sometimes, and you never know. When you're going to the airport, you don't know. Could be 4 hours, could be no hours, could be 20 minutes, could be an hour and a half. You have no idea. That puts your life into chaos. It puts the airports into chaos. It puts the country into chaos. Why? What are they doing it for? I think I really, truly believe a lot of it is just to create chaos. At a time we need order, we need law, we need structure. What are the Democrats giving us every step of the way? Chaos. They are partnering with agents of chaos. They are partnering with socialist revolutionaries, with anarchy. That's chaos. ICE at the airport. Shall we? I don't know. Can you run the ICE lines or the lines of TSA at all of the airports? We have some video of this. It's pretty staggering. Some of the lines were up to 2 and 3 hours long. It is nuts. What was the longest?
I've read anywhere between 5 to 6.
Where? Atlanta?
I think New York City. Insiders tell me if I'm wrong.
I think that, it's different than what I wrote or what I read. I'm not sure, but what you read. But I will tell you, it's horrible in some places. And the president has said, we're going to get ICE out there. Well, somebody's got to do the job. Who do you want? Well, now people are saying, oh, well, that's just going to make people, illegals afraid to go into the airports. Well, I can't help you with that. ICE would be not in the airport. ICE would be looking for the really bad guys who have stabbed people and killed people and raped. But the left, the Democrats, have shut down TSA. So we got to have somebody do it. Who do you want to do it. I prefer TSA. So the president is saying we should have ICE do it. Left is saying, well, that's going to cause so many problems because of the. Okay, well, you're having a hard time evoking sympathy in me on this one for a myriad of reasons. You want to solve it? Fund the TSA. Same time, Elon Musk comes out. And Elon Musk says, I'll pay the TSA. Now, here's a guy who's the richest guy on Earth. He could pay TSA all day long and never feel it. It's like you going to, buy a milkshake at McDonald's. Not that big of a deal. Except this would be healthy at McDonald's. Anyway, why isn't he doing it? You want to know why? Because he can't just pay TSA. It's got to go to the Treasury. And then from the Treasury to be allocated to the TSA, Congress has to vote on it to be allocated. This is how screwed up our system is. This is what everybody hates about government. There are times when you are when your ox is in the mire and you got to get it out. And all these rules and regulations that stop you from doing the right thing. The right thing is to refund TSA. Get them back at the airport and fully fund them. The wrong thing is to keep taking and saying, oh, we're not going to pay you. And then we're going to pay you for a while. And then we're not going to pay you again. Then we're going to pay you for a while. You never really know. It's a really stable environment, causing chaos in all of these people's lives. That's wrong. That's wrong. Elon Musk is trying to do the right thing. System is saying, no, you can't. That's how screwed up our system is. My dad said, you know how truth, you can tell truth. Truth is like rain. It just falls straight down. Water, just straight down. And when it bends, when it curves, it's because there's something impeding it. Otherwise, it would just keep running straight, but there's some obstacle in the way. And he's like, it's those obstacles. Whenever you see things bend, that's when you look and go, okay, there's something not true here. There's an obstacle in the way. Pay the TSA. Pay them. Can't. What's the obstacle? Politics. Okay. Elon Musk steps to the plate and says there's absolute chaos. What's the straight way? Pay them. Can't. What's the obstacle? The system. The system would work, but it can't because people are obstructing it. I think Elon Musk, I heard that and I thought that as somebody who, at least is a candidate for future Antichrist, he is a really good guy. I like him. And he's just trying to do the right thing. And he keeps getting hammered over and over and over again. He's living the life of the billionaire that wouldn't we all like to be? Wouldn't we want to be that guy? If we were going to be a billionaire, do you want to be Bezos or do you want to be Elon Musk? You want to be any of these billionaires or do you want to be Elon Musk?
And I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did.
Well, Brock shared something with me to get my blood boiling a little bit before we started the show today. And it's a post by one of these folks on X who I follow under the handle Amuse. And it's an update, though not confirmed. It's sort of some scuttlebutt. I sure hope it's false, because I'm going to jump through a window, grab somebody, choke them, and throw them down the stairs. If it is true, here's what it says. Save Act. Rumor has it that Leader Thune has a deal that allows senators to go on their 14-day paid vacation, their spring recess. Does anybody out there listening to me give a fat rip about the Senate and their vacation plans? I don't care if you're coloring Easter eggs with your grandchildren. Sit down and do the job and keep your hiney in D.C. Because if you really are insulated in that Capitol Hill bubble and you think nobody's looking and you're like, what? We're watching. Senator Thune, you're a big fat zero. Now, according to Amuse on X, again, not corroborated, but something interesting to chew on, this would restore funding, this deal that allegedly Thune is chewing on, that would restore funding for the TSA in exchange for stripping out ICE enforcement funding from the DHS bill. Well, that kind of sounds stupid. I don't really, and no offense, ladies and gentlemen, to the 260,000 federal workers who have been squeezed by this political game that is so obnoxious and is so off-putting. I apologize to them before I say this. I don't care if the entire flying public grinds to a halt, me included, if it means passing the Save America Act. I don't care about housing right now. I don't care about wages. I don't care about gas prices. I sure as hell don't care about climate change. I don't care about your diversity. I don't care if you want to be included. I don't care. Pass the freaking Save America Act. I just wanted to say it slowly, in the event people out there in Capitol Hill aren't really operating on all cylinders. So, restoring funding to the TSA, restoring ICE enforcement funding from the Department of Homeland Security bill. The deal, this is the kick in the drawers. Ready? Bend over, grab your ankles. Here you go. Again, not corroborated. Rumor. The deal kills the Save America Act and gives states money if they implement voter ID, but removes any requirement to check that voters are citizens. I don't believe that that's true, because if that is true, there should be millions upon millions of people who simultaneously walk out of their jobs and go storm the Capitol. If they think January 6th was an insurrection, they haven't seen anything until 84% of the people who have common sense and say, oh, I'm thinking that only American citizens should be voting in American. We will hopefully storm the Capitol and take it over. These people then should not be in business. They should not be our leaders. They should not be anywhere near Washington, D.C. These people, it's true, are a clear and present danger to the United States of America. Now, as we're percolating on that, I'm just going to put it on the back burner and we're going to pretend that it didn't happen, because now I'm pissed. And I don't like starting fussy, but you know what happens when we do. I want to talk a little bit about this deal maker we have in the Oval Office. This guy who manages negotiations unlike anybody Washington, D.C. has seen, right? Let's think about the art of the deal. Let's think about what President Trump is all about. Do you guys remember Barbara Corcoran? when she was, it was not that long ago, but she was talking about how before she was on Shark Tank, that she was involved in a lot of negotiations in New York City that involved Donald Trump, then private citizen, billionaire, business, real estate mogul Donald Trump. And she's obviously extraordinarily fond of him. She says he is the best negotiator, the finest there is, not because he gets what he wants, but because he can sense your weakness the minute he walks into the room. He can sense your Achilles heel. And so he can pivot on a dime. She recounted watching Trump sell the Plaza Hotel, plus some unwanted adjacent land to international buyers back in the 1980s, when he, by the way, was near bankruptcy. Instead of pushing the hotel, he sensed the international buyers' hidden interests, and he pivoted to the land's potential. And he closed a massive deal building what would be Trump Towers along the Hudson. He can smell vulnerability. He can sense it and trust it, Corcoran said, noting Trump quickly identifies weaknesses in a meeting and subtly plays to them without being overt. His gift, she says, propelled his 2016 campaign success by tapping into voters' frustrations. He knows what we want. He knows what we need. And his deal-making style, as outlined in his book, The Art of the Deal, is very prevalent in how he's managing relations with the American people and all of these deals. Apparently now we've got Jared Kushner and Dave Witkoff are peace negotiators extraordinaire planning to meet in Islamabad. We're going to talk about that later this week. Iran apparently is trying to SOS, phone a friend. They got nothing. They've got nothing, right? And President Trump holds all of the keys. He has the leverage. But let's talk about this war at home. What do the Democrats have? They don't have any more money. Do you guys see the headlines today that the RNC outpaced the DNC fundraising by $8 million in February, which sounds okay. And then you consider, oh, that's right. Remember in October of last year when the DNC took out a $15 million loan because Kamala had drained the coffers totally dry, and it's we're near there, and they're like, oh snap, how are we going to get through the elections, right? So they had to take out a loan. They are $17.5 million in the hole. The DNC is right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I just saw a story that President Trump, his approval ratings, oh my goodness, they're like the deep, dark sea, so down. And you know who's sparking a lot of interest among Democrats? Pete Buttigieg. The guy who, when he was Department of Transportation Secretary, took him 3 weeks to get to East Palestine, Ohio, after some moron was like, I don't know, Earl, what do you think we should do? I mean, it's leaking. It doesn't smell that good. I don't know. Let's light it up. Right? 3 weeks later, Pete Buttigieg is like, hey, remember when he showed up wearing his like reflective vest, hard hat, and goggles? And we're like, that's a Halloween costume if I've ever seen one, right? This is who we're talking about. Democrats have nothing. They have no more money. Act Blue is dried up. USAID has been dismantled. The grift that is. You've got Neil Singham, or whatever that guy's name is. He's like the last-ditch dark money fundraiser for all things malevolent on the left. Yeah, the Democrats are freaking, and you know it when they put out Chuck Schumer on the evening and morning shows. Oh, buckle up for that, because it's coming up. When we come back, Democrats don't hate ICE. They just hate. Now, that's profound. I know. I stole it from somebody else. At least I'm honest. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
All right, let's jump up here to about the 22, 23 minute mark.
9 little bit. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Nail biter, they're telling us it really looks possible the Democrats are going to retake control of the House and the Senate. In what world? In what world? You've got a DNC that between 2020 and 2024 lost 2.1 million registered voters. Sayonara during Joe Biden's presidency. See you later. Wait a minute. Wasn't he the most voted for president in American history? Brock, what are they trying to push? Some measure that the Republicans have to attest that Joe Biden absolutely was the undisputed winner in 2020? Promise?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to get the Republicans, as Fox was reporting it.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Fox News
they're trying to get them on the record.
Right. Why would you need to do that? Oh, because you cheated and you suck. The 2.1 who left, million voters who left the Democratic Party. The GOP during that same period, during Joe Biden, we gained 2.4 million. But yeah, it's looking like it's real neck and neck. Okay, so I wanted to play this for you. I think it's the best 90 seconds of audio we're going to have today, and I don't like to blow it right in the top. But I'm going to Trace Gallagher over at Fox News has a cute segment called Common Sense. If you ever followed me on Newsmax, you know that was what my segment was called because, for heaven's sakes, there just seems to be a dearth of it anymore. And he calls out the lunacy of the left, not just for hating ICE, just for hating.
Well, the Fox News at Night Common Sense Department wants to make sure it has this right. The Democrats do not want to fund DHS, meaning TSA agents funded by DHS are not getting paid. And because they're not getting paid, many are calling in sick, leaving passengers waiting in airport security lines for hours. So President Trump is trying to get airport security moving by using ICE agents to fill in for TSA agents. And yet Democrats who don't want to pay TSA also don't want ICE to fill in for TSA. So Democrats hate ICE when they detain and deport criminal illegal immigrants, and they hate ICE when they help passengers make their flights. Common sense thinks they just hate. New York Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman says ICE officers were sent to, quote, terrorize our passengers waiting in line for hours. California Democrat Congressman Robert Garcia says ICE will, quote, be an actively malicious force. And the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says ICE will go to airports to, quote, brutalize or in some instances kill, which would ruin the trip. Common sense wonders if these politicians actually believe what they say, or do they use hate to generate likes? Is it about serving constituents or collecting followers? Because we all know if the president told ICE to sell Girl Scout cookies, the Dems would have a sudden disdain for do-si-dos.
Well said, Trace Gallagher. I normally am not a huge fan of the Fox stuff, but I thought that was well said. Right? Democrats, do they honestly think anybody's buying the garbage that they sell? It's so obnoxious. And by the way, isn't it always curious that they're anti-law and order? They were defund the police, anti-cops, get rid of police, blah, blah, blah. Because what could possibly happen? Oh, I don't know, like everything that happened. And now it's all about defunding. Border Patrol defunding, immigrations and customs enforcement. Why? Because you need to break the law. You gotta break the law because you don't have the voters, you don't have the money, you don't have the leader, you don't have the message, you don't have a freaking prayer. And these polls that show there's some gurgling, burning for Pete Buttigieg, please do better. Right. Scott Jennings on a panel with literally an apoplectic group of Democrats, sour sports, downtrodden. They're all like frowning as they come back from a reporter who's like, hey, traffic is moving well here at the airport. Thank goodness. Scott Jennings with the common sense. Thank you to TSA.
You know, I live in airports, and if you're a TSA agent and you're watching this, thank you for showing up, because the people who were there are doing a thankless job and under terrible circumstances. But the reality is, ICE agents went today. Wasn't a single problem. I saw a report on CNN this morning. Atlanta was a disaster. By this afternoon, it was pretty well managed, and ICE was patrolling around, and seemed like maybe
is that ICE, or is that just the normal flow of a travel?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, Atlanta's been a huge problem for days. I showed up, and this afternoon we had a reporter there. I saw it on our air.
Lucky you.
Looking at pretty short lines. And so, look, they're not there to scan bags or look at IDs or whatever. They're there to basically help manage what is a crush of human beings. And I was in some airports in Florida. I've been in airports out west. If you don't have TSA pre or clear, it's pretty bad, and it can look pretty chaotic. So having a few people there to keep that managed and keep the flow of people moving, that cannot be a bad thing. But they should fund this now and get these people their money. These TSA workers are getting crapped on again. This is the second time they've done it to them.
You know, it's so interesting watching the news anchor chick do the thing, right? In that situation, when you're heading a panel, you're supposed to just navigate from guest to guest, get point, counterpoint. They can't help themselves. She's no different than Abby Phillip or anybody else, Hackmore McHackey on the left. They can't help but chirping in with their negative commentary because Trump is succeeding. When we come back, the left is angry that ICE helped ease all of the ridiculous airport wait times. Damn them. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Isn't that amazing that the Democrats are pissed off because ICE is helping out and easing some of the lines here? Amazing. Okay, I want to share some information here with you from Pickaxe. Okay? Let's take a listen.
All right, guys, big announcement. Pickaxe is officially launched on iOS and Android February 24th. If you're tired of algorithmic manipulation, shadow banning, and platforms collecting your data while throttling your reach, this is for you. Pickaxe is built to be the most human-centered social media platform on the planet.
No algorithms deciding who sees your content. No data mining. We're making social media actually social again. And this is huge for the Rumble community. Your Rumble videos play directly inside the Pickaxe newsfeed just like native content. No redirect. No losing your audience. Seamless integration.
We've already got major voices on the platform like Diamond and Silk, The Vigilant Fox, Rampage Jackson, Dr. Mary Tally Bowden, Children's Health Defense, Shannon Joy, and many more. And the Rumble gaming community is showing up strong. The Joker, Uncle Pudge, Midnight in the Mountains, Vapin Gamers, Shovus Flexington, Soundboard Lord, Cat Dog, and a bunch more are making Pickaxe their home base.
This is about owning your audience instead of renting it. Go to pickaxe.app today to pre-register for the app in the Google Play and Apple App Stores, and be ready the moment we go live. You are the algorithm.
Okay, folks, clicking on the Rumble link here, it takes us over to Wendy Bell Radio. This is the video I shared with you. I'm following her channel. I've given her a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, let's jump back here, and I've copied the live chats right here. Copied these live chats into a comment because, as you know, when the live stream is over, the live chats just kind of vaporize into cyberspace. So I've copied this in here because I feel it's good information and part of this video. Okay, now the information that I have shared with you is right here in the description box. I've got the links to the videos I shared with you and the links to the producer's channel as well, so you can go check them out, see what other great information that they have. And these videos that I've shared with you here are videos that I've posted here on Mertech.com, where I have over 40 no-nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth videos. It's a free site. The link to Mertech.com is in the description box. You can come here, and I don't have any ads popping up in your face. Don't drop cookies on your computer. It's 100% free. I'd like to share all this information with you, but unfortunately I just don't have the time to do so. And that's why I've put together my daily news wrap-up right here. In fact, I've got Wendy Bell Radio's video here. We're going to finish up with that in my daily news wrap-up. The Dan Bongino video. Got information from Anthony Bryan Logan, Benny Johnson, News for Reasonable People, Black Conservative Perspective, Dr. Steve Turley, X22 Report. Got a lot of great information in here. It says I have 23 videos and about 10 or 11 hours worth of news, no nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth. The kind of information that you're not going to get on the mainstream media. So go ahead and give me about 15 or 20 minutes to get this set up and come back, go ahead and take a break, grab a cup of coffee and a donut, a sandwich and a soft drink or a beer or a nice glass of wine and some cheese, and meet me back here in about 15 or 20 minutes. But in the meantime, I do want to thank you for being here with me. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later, and may God bless.